I think we are live, Ash.
Auntie.
Hey, Ash, and welcome to all of you. Welcome to Hey Auntie and Ash with Auntie and Ash. I know.
Yeah.
And we're here. Thank you. Say it.
Where we bridge generations through conversation.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yes,
And y'all, listen, it's a lot going on today.
it is.
Up and through this week. So it was a press for both of us to get here tonight.
But we here.
But we're here. We's here, y'all. We's here.
And y'all gonna get some original realness today because we don't have a guest today, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be that vibe that we usually have, but next week we'll have another guest.
Yes. But we're still focusing and we are aligned with Mental Health Awareness Month. So we're talking all things mental health. And we would love your participation, whether you're live on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. If you comment, if you can add in the comments things you'd like to know about, or just enhance the conversation on this mental health thing, because there's so many facets and there's so many levels to it. And everything we do in one way, shape, or form affects our mental health.
Exactly.
Would you agree? Okay, so Ash does agree with it.
I agree.
I say that because I think often we forget that. We forget that we embark upon new friendships that can have a good impact, a positive impact, or a negative bad one. When we enter relationships, the male to female or whatever your sexual orientation or preference is, it can have a positive or negative impact on our mental health. What we eat, we talked about this last week with our special guest. What we eat affects our mental health in a positive.
Our jobs affect our mental health.
Our jobs and career choices affect our mental health, right? Where we live. Where you live will affect your mental health in a positive or negative way. Like, do you have access to certain things in your neighborhood? Do you have access to walk trails? Do you have access to fitness facilities? Do you have access to grocery stores? Is this a food desert that you're moving into? All of the things that I don't think as we go
think about.
Yeah, we don't think about how it affects our mental health. How much we invest in ourselves affects our mental health. Are you dealing with any kind of professional development courses? Are you doing anything to enhance your brain and
do you have too much on your plate?
Do you hello, I was getting there. You this millennial right here is very insightful. Okay, she's very wise. But yes, have you over committed?
Yes. Which we tend to do.
And we tend to do it because of societal pressures.
But before we get to societal pressure, next Tuesday, we have a mindful moment before we get into our conversation. Next Tuesday, we are doing our first online event for World Meditation Day. Okay. We're going to celebrate it our way. We're going to have mindful moments with Hey Auntie and Ash, okay? And we are going to embark upon biblical meditation as well as journaling. And it's a way for us to do what? Replenish, right? Replace those negative thoughts, right? And recharge, right? And have a solemn and a peaceful moment. And also to build community. If you don't know much about our show and what we do, this is the time to come and see what we do. Okay? All right. Next Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Central Standard Time. And it's also a way for us to give to our community. Right? It's us giving them space and a place for them to recharge, replenish. And what's the other one? Recharge, replenish, and
I didn't forget myself.
Girl, it's 3 R's. I know.
Recharge, replenish. I'm gonna have to pull it up. I'm sorry.
You said them. I was.
But I can't wait to have one of these like in the park somewhere. That's gonna be cool.
That is what I want, honestly.
I can't wait. Like that's gonna be exciting.
Because we could do that for this first one. I mean, it would just be the two of us presenting to other people, but
But
Yeah.
we're gonna do it online, and then we'll make
Yes.
it bigger
Yes.
during the
An
summertime.
in-person one. That's gonna be
Ooh,
good.
it
Yeah, let's
is.
do. Okay, so y'all are getting the fresh manna. Um, let's do one in the summer.
We
Maybe
should.
towards the end of summer. Maybe
Yes.
September, October, like the end of September.
Well, is that a way that we want to celebrate our first year?
Because we will be embarking upon our first. Okay, we just.
Do y'all see? This is the magic that we have.
It is. It is. I love that. There we go. That is how we're going to. Yes, that's awesome. An in-person live event. Yes. In the park. That's going to be amazing. Okay. We'll get all the details
We
out
do.
to you.
Because we got to get a videographer too. Nevertheless, let's
yes, we do.
continue.
Oh,
All right, here we go. Let's get into
and
it.
she just talked about putting too much on the plate. And then here we go. But okay.
Look, you know who? Every time I see this person, they inspire me, and that's Dr. Robert. Like he inspires.
I knew you were going to say Robert. I knew you were going to say Robert.
He does, I'm like, yes, sir. Thank you for being an example.
Robert has a team too, though.
He does.
And so,
nevertheless,
that's the part.
The team is coming.
Like the team is coming. The teams are coming. The teams are coming.
But we have to do things with excellence regardless.
Absolutely. We do. But that takes planning. And so it's good that we're talking about this in May and we're looking to do something in 4 to 5 months. That's right. Great to have time so that we're not overzealous and just throw some trash out there. Anyway.
Amen. All right, here we go. Societal pressures. Let's talk about societal pressures, mental health, all of the things. How do we want to start this? Because you usually have the questions and then I just build upon those questions.
So I am literally pulling them up now. That's what I was looking
for.
I got
it's got to be the yin and the yang, friend.
Absolutely. That's the whole point, right? We have to balance each other out. And we do. I think we do a good job of that. You still there?
I am.
Okay, I'm like, did I lose you? Do you not think we do a good job?
Spaghettios.
Oh my gosh. I heard crickets. I'm like, what just happened here? Okay. So we are talking about societal pressures and minding our mental health, right? How, in order to, like, when people say mind your business, that means that you are intentionally focused on your business. Your business, yourself. So when we say minding our mental health, that means that you are intentionally focused on your mental health.
And so if you are bored with minding your business, that means that there's a level of solitude that's not happening. You're not allowing yourself that reflection time in order to truly reflect and do that work. But continue.
No, you're right. And it's a level of, are you really operating in your daily purpose? Because see, here's the thing. Someone posted something about walking in hatred or doing things to hurt people. And my comment under their post was, I'm too busy in my own business to hate on somebody else. I'm too busy. I've had a lot of situations where I've seen people steal other people's content and material. That has happened to me several times. I have witnessed it with people on my page. And I'm like, she just posted this. How did that person just come and take it? And it's like, that means you are too invested in someone else's purpose and their destiny and their creativity. You are too invested in theirs and you lack faith.
You lack faith. Oh, see, I didn't cut myself before the show. You lack faith, but not just that. There is some type of deficit mindset there that you don't believe, right? That you can also grab a hold to that same creativity and charge into the creator.
That is my whole point of lacking faith. You lack faith because we were all created with a purpose. We were all created with gifts. God has gifted each and every one of us individually, and then we can operate it according to our own faith, according to how much we believe that he has given us. So if I am on Ashley's page or Ashley's ideas and Ashley's stuff, and I'm stealing, that means I lack the faith that I have a purpose. That means I lack a faith in my own gift and my own accountabilities.
That's
So
right.
I want to admonish you all seriously, because it's something that I think even with believers, I'm seeing it
Oh
with
yeah.
believers so heavily, and people walk around like it doesn't matter. God sees what you're doing even online. I don't know why that's a
And just
newsflash.
there's nothing wrong with giving these people their credit.
If you
And
share
and
something,
what I
I'm good
mean
on
by that is, so I seen the little Asian boy dancing or whatever that
yeah.
I put up, and I seen somebody do it, and I said, that's a good idea. However, I put my own twist on it. And then I also told that particular creator or whoever put it up, because that clip has been going around the internet.
It
However,
has.
I said, thank you, blah, blah, for the inspiration. There is nothing wrong. And what I mean by that is, if it's a recycled content and they did something different with it and you were inspired, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I was inspired by this person. But you taking somebody
Mhm.
original stuff and acting like it's yours,
That's my point.
it's a no for me, friend.
That is my point. It's not the sharing of a video that is my point, because we all
Yes,
share things we've seen, right? But when you're sharing, like when you're sharing the little boy dancing, it's the little boy still dancing. It's
exactly.
not you dancing like him, pretending that you created the dance.
That
That
part.
is a different thing. You are still sharing that content, but people still see it's him, it's not you. So it's obvious that you're not stealing. You're just sharing whatever. And you creating your own copy, your own words to add
That's
to
right.
this, add the messaging to this. These are Ashley's words. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot then, or should not then, take Ashley's words and tweak it just a little bit. But
To
you
make
just
it
saw
mine.
you just saw Ashley post that 3 hours ago. Now here
That's
I
right.
am posting something that's very similar, and we know what we're doing, and God knows what we're doing. But on top of that, no matter how big you get, because big creators do this a lot,
Oh, they show small
they
creator
steal from
stuff.
smaller creators
Yeah,
all day
they
long.
do.
And the reality is, I don't care how much you build, how big you get, how much notoriety you get. The bottom line is, it doesn't matter if it's not authentically you. You will have to account for that.
Yes.
Whether you believe it or not, you will have to make an account for that. That is still stealing. That still means you don't have any integrity. And it may be cool today, but it's going to show up, and you have to be accountable to
That's
that.
right.
So I want to encourage people. I don't know how we got there, but I want to
No, we gotta
encourage
keep moving.
we do. But I want to encourage people to really, oh,
Spend
that's
time
how
with
we got
God.
on it. Spend time with God. And also, we're going to do part of our
Moment.
mindful moment event next week. It's going to be meditation, biblical meditation, and breathing, and also journaling. Take
Yes.
some time and write some things down. What are you interested in?
Mhm. That's
Is
right.
God interested in you being interested in that?
Sit in that.
Are you aligned to this? Are you really passionate
What
about
does
it?
that look like? That's
What does
right.
that look like? What is God telling you, not people? So I'm diving in really early, because one of the issues with societal pressures makes you think that everybody's supposed to be a millionaire, billionaire, multimillionaire. Everybody's supposed to be wealthy right now.
Yes.
It's supposed to be fast.
Everybody is supposed to be a content creator.
Everybody's an
Everybody is supposed
influencer.
to be an influencer.
Everybody's
Everybody's supposed to be making money on
thought leader.
TikTok.
Everybody's a thought leader. Everybody's supposed to go viral. Everybody. And here's the problem when we're chasing these world systems and world pressures and world behaviors. Often I'm looking at the condition of the people in the world. And it seems that we have people who are dealing with depression more,
Yes.
people who are dealing with anxiety more, people dealing with all of these mental health conditions and issues more today, with more opportunities and more this and more that
And it's
than
not people,
ever.
yes, and it's not because we have a big group of content creators who are seriously there to show their journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then we have a group of people who just want to be known.
Yes.
You just want to be
They're
famous.
not there to serve.
No, you just want to, and you know that a journey is a journey because it continues to evolve, it continues to morph. There are mistakes made, but they keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
there is a realness to it. Not to mention, there's there's also a trendiness
Girl.
that is happening where everybody is now seeking God.
Really?
And I don't
I shook my head, but I took a
people,
minute.
what I mean by that is people who were never content creators that
Uh-huh.
were Christian,
Mm-hmm.
that were praying to the God that we know.
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden there is somewhat of an uptick in it. And so now people are questioning, like, are people authentically walking with God? Or is this a double-minded thing? Like you got your tarot cards in one hand, but then you praying to God.
And so here's what I think about that. Like, I know the Hubs and I were talking about this yesterday. So we've just been down the rabbit hole with certain conversations, but we were talking
Yeah.
about this yesterday. And I told him about how when I was younger, I was very black and white. And it's something that I still battle with
Yes.
today, right?
Me too.
You either hot or you're cold, you're either a
Cold.
good person or you're a bad
Mhm.
person. And as I've matured, as I've aged, as I've experienced more, I realize, yes, in the Bible, it talks about God spits out the lukewarm, but that's not what I'm talking. I'm not talking about
About
lukewarm. I'm referring to the fact that there is nuance in this
it
human.
is nuance in this human experience.
So in that and with that, I think everybody has their own path and their own journey.
They
And
do.
in time, they reach their destiny if they don't give up. So with that, and I haven't seen a lot of people converting.
Oh, maybe because I follow a lot of YouTubers and stuff
Okay.
like that.
That could
And
be.
there has been somewhat of an uptick.
Mm-hmm.
I've been positive about, like, well, maybe these people are really finding God. Like maybe this is the thing. You know?
And even if it's not for me, like I am not him. I have no heaven or hell to put
But
anybody in.
what I have seen was a lot of these creators are turning to God because
Of the popularity.
No, not just the popularity, but some
Okay.
of them are authentically turning to God because they like, this is my 5th time landing in depression. I got to try.
And that was my point. That was my point.
I got to try them at least.
That was my point. The whole concept of, oh, we're in a smorgasbord of opportunities and everyone can be millionaires and everyone can be influencers and everyone can do this and everyone can do that. If it's so amazing and everyone should be doing it and could be doing it, why is depression on the rise? Why is suicide on the rise and increasing? Why is anxiety on that is my point. Like we have to at some point, because we have to stay with the actual
topic.
You know, the first question is, how do societal norms and expectations shape our thoughts, behaviors, and patterns? I have that in the description. And we're talking about some of the ways that the societal norms and patterns and systems and trends, we're talking about some of the ways that they do affect us. Like,
but I think also not just that, but I think it either is going to tell you how to think, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to leave you in a space, because we got this big thing of discussing things until we can't discuss them anymore. And what I think happens is it inhibits us from coming up with solutions, right? For different things, right? And so I might be thinking I'm feeling a certain way about something, but if I watch somebody else's video and they talking about the very same thing that I've been through and they got 1,000 comments, now I'm like, what's wrong with me? Like, why am I not thinking that way?
You're moving quickly through my questions, but
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So we're kind of disclosing or unveiling some of the ways that societal norms and expectations shape our thoughts, our behaviors, and patterns. Here's the problem when you're chasing the tail when you're chasing somebody else's tail, when you're chasing somebody else's purpose, when you're chasing someone else's destiny, when you're chasing someone else's gift or calling. you will chase and chase and chase and feel like you're running into a wall.
Wow.
Even if you're making progress, you will
Yeah,
be unfulfilled. You will
that's true.
still feel empty on the inside, even if you're one of the hugest content creators, and nothing will ever satiate you. Is that the right word? Satisfy
Yes.
you.
By
You will
you.
never feel like enough is enough. So you're constantly changing, constantly. What are the new trends?
Yes,
What are they saying about this? Let me
that's
get that
right.
strategy, and anything you do in desperation, you're doing wrong.
You're doing wrong.
Anything you do in desperation, any decision you make when you are desperate, it's likely going
Yes,
to be the wrong
it's
decision.
gonna be the wrong because it's rushed.
It's rushed, and
And with that,
you can't
I'm
receive
gonna have to
wisdom.
go out and come back in because somehow we have paused on my
Okay.
side.
Okay, come on. But anytime, I'll finish with that thought. Anytime you're doing things in desperation, you need time to calm your mind, calm your thoughts, center yourself. Take a moment to breathe. Even when I know there are desperate times, I know people are in dire straits. I have seen my own challenges over the last few years. I mean, extreme challenges that I thought for a minute, like, God, where are you? What is happening? Like, I'm not understanding, and I'm faithful. I'm here. I'm doing things to give to people. I'm not malicious in my intent. I really love people. I really help people. Why am I? Why am I? Why am I? Well, we can't think it strange concerning the fiery darts. And it's life. It's this journey. Just because I believe in God doesn't make me exempt from trials and tribulations when the word tells me I'm supposed to expect trials and tribulations. But in that moment, I have learned in these 52 freaking years, anytime I made a decision and I was desperate and I was, oh my gosh, I don't know what's happening. I don't know where I should go, what I should do, all these things. Hey, girl. Hey, Docu Rock. Oop, girl, stop. Did she say, oop, y'all got a heathen? You are not a heathen. Stop it. We could talk all day about that. I've just learned some things as I've aged. That's all. I'll leave it at that. But but anytime I have made those desperate decisions, I have always regretted it. Every single time, like clockwork, because I didn't take a moment. And whether you're a believer or not, you still live with you every day. You still have a moment to sit in the quiet and settle yourself and see what your gut intuition is telling you. Yes, of course, me being authentic to who I am, I don't judge people. You walk your path and allow me to walk mine, right? Without judgment. But for me, I call it the Holy Spirit, right? I also call it my gut because it is my gut telling me, my gut talking to me. But when you can stop and listen and settle yourself and center yourself, that's when you can make better decisions. And when you stop looking to the east or the west or the north or the south, what are they doing? What's popular? What's going? This desperation. In those moments, you are more confused and more likely to be in rooms you have no business being in, to walking paths that will end up tripping you up, to living a life that's not authentically yours. And then at 40, 50, 60 years old, you regret time wasted because you were living someone else's life. That matters in our mental health. Social media matters in our mental health. How much we're ingesting and digesting and taking in. I often, you guys will see me on social media sometimes, then sometimes I won't be there. And I don't look at people's pages all the time. And I don't want to be influenced by what DocuRock said yesterday and who else is on here, what Lynn said the day before and what this coach said or that coach said. I want to know what's coming from me. What has God put inside of me? What is the message of hope, of overcoming, of forgiveness? What is that message? And then I want to do that. One thing I do not do, I will not take other people's content and steal it. If I heard somebody say something, y'all have heard me here. I'm like, DocuRock said this, or Robert, or we had this guest on and they said that. Because what am I losing? What am I losing by pointing you to DocuRock? Dr. Yolinda Renee, what am I losing? How am I losing anything? Because I've shouted her out, because I've given her her flowers. How does Michelle shrink because DocuRock grows? How? I don't. But that only happens. I can only celebrate the amazing people in my circle or in my line of view. I can only celebrate these people when I celebrate me. When I love me, when I know who I am, then I can celebrate others. It is those moments. I can hear you. Welcome back.
Oh.
I just went on my tangent about, not of having integrity.
Now, friend, it don't take you a long time to do that. You can do that. You gonna do that, friend? Come on, where have you been?
I'm going. You know what? I'm not feeling the love up in here, up and through
here.
Hold
on, the love is that I know. Look, I celebrate your calling. It only take 2 seconds to light that fire, baby. She gonna keep going.
But that is because I spend time. No.
Exactly.
Let me stop. That is because I invest time.
Yes, in yourself.
In myself and in God who created me, in my creator. That's right. That's because of that. Because listen, I'm not confused about why I'm here, but many people are. Many people are. Many people are confused, so they're easily led by every wind,
everything,
and every wave, and every person, every trend. And it's like, whoa, how can you have peace?
You can't. Because you're taking a little bit of this person and a little bit of that person and a little bit of this person and a little bit of that.
And I want you to know, God made you on purpose. Yes. You're here for a reason. There's nothing wrong with you. I don't care what's going wrong in your life or how you have an opportunity for growth. We all need to grow on some level. We all have challenges. Nobody's perfect, but you are perfect in the eyes and the sight of God. And He birthed you in this earth with a gift that you were already able to give when you were 3 years old. If you were the little boy who encouraged people, if you were the little boy who had the gift of laughter and comedy and, bringing light to the room, you had that at 3. Now, can you develop it? Of course, you can take more classes and courses and all those things. But the gift that God gave you is enough today. I want y'all to know that. Ash, I've been talking long enough. But do you see DocuRock in here?
I don't.
Girl, she said, oop, y'all got a heathen here on the channel. I'm like,
I love you, girl.
And she said, been there, done that, and sometimes still struggle with it. I wish I could remember what that was for. I'm sure she'll tell me. But
let's be real. DocuRock is probably one of the most authentic people you will ever meet.
Say it again.
Because she's done her work, right? And
she's doing her work.
Yes. But she's probably one of the most authentic people that you will ever meet. And that's
which is why we love her, which is why, and I know sometimes she might see me, I'm replying to her transparent, vulnerable videos that I love. Yes. She may see me like, I'm here if you ever need, and I'm saying that if I'll speak for me. When people are overly nice to me, I used to, in my suspicious brain, what do they want? What are they doing? Are they trying to trick me? Are they going to use me? Do they see a gift and they want to steal it? Because I've had that happen so often. And it's that suspicion. I'm finally out of that. I trust my discernment. I trust my gut concerning people. I trust it. I know when you really don't like me, even if you're smiling and in my face. I know. I may not call you out, but believe me.
Exactly.
As the old folks say, I'm feeding you with a long handle spoon. Okay?
That's right.
But I also know those individuals who actually do have space for me and like me and really care about me. So I will say things to like, I'm here if you, and I really mean it because it's rare to find authentic people. So when I find them, I'm honoring them. When I find a person that I know, hey, I don't have to look out the corner of my eye at you. You gonna steal from me? I don't have to do that. I'm like, hey, girl, I'm here. I got you. What you need?
Exactly.
So we're talking about Doc is so.
Did you move to the next? What's she?
No, just reading that comment about the heathen thing. I'm like, girl.
Oh, we love heathens over here. Especially me. I love a good heathen. They always have good insight on like real stuff. I love that.
Oh, here she is. Here she is. She's back. She said, I just put it on the screen. I still struggle with not getting caught up with not operating from desperation and or not feeling away when I'm saying something and get no motion and other folks say less and get platform. Girl, let me put them. I wanted everybody to see that comment, and then the last one.
And that is, man, that's a real thing. That is a real thing.
I was in this course, and I'll share a really quick story. I was in this course, this speaking course, and I love the woman who led it. She's amazing. But I was sharing with her kind of the same sentiment about, you know, how it can be challenging in society to lead with your purpose when people want fluff. They don't really want depth. They just want fluff, 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 fluff. And, you know, and I said, you know, it can if I focus on it enough, which is why I don't focus. I know my triggers in that area. I know how if I'm on too many people's pages, I will get resentment towards those people because I'm like, and you just stole this from her and you just, and it's like, hold up, Michelle, pump your brakes. That is ego. So because, but let me get to the point of what the woman said. So the lady who led it, the speaking container, she said, she was talking, she said, I deal with the same thing. I deal with that, you know, I have to fight resentment. I have to fight my ego.
Right, yeah.
She said, but one of the things that I realized, so much of me not getting the traction and the attention, or not even the attention, but the clients, the focus, the platform that I wanted, was because I was leading from a place of resentment.
Now that is the message. And how do you continuously stay consistent, right? Without carrying that resentment. And what in you wants to feel seen and heard. And because I think that if we're gonna have a conversation,
please,
especially with Rock, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's the part of us. That is the little girl and the boy that wants to be seen and heard and not invisible.
And the one who didn't feel like I have no value.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so Doc girl, you want to come up on the screen? I wanted to ask her in the beginning of the week to be a guest this week, but I kept seeing how many things she had on her plate.
She had going on. That's right.
Doing that to her. I'm not going to do that to her.
But she has some big things coming up too.
I honor her too much for that. Yeah. So she said, yep, wait a minute. Oh, she said she's on the treadmill. She said, yep, wasn't ready for the motion because I was too attached to it. Still learning to let that go. That's a process. And it's a process though that we just have to stay intentional about.
That's right.
Not treating, but giving attention to. Hey, okay, exactly. I know how I feel when I see certain creators post.
That's right.
And the people.
And then the question is, do I even watch that? Because
that is my point. So I know certain people, I have to mute them. And it's not because I don't love them. It's not because it's like, I know for me, I'm still growing in that area and I'm not quite over it. Yeah, I'm through. I know.
And how do we release and not attach? And that's a good thing. Like, how do we release that thing and not still be attached to it? Right? The numbers that it does. And all of those things.
So here is where I am, but I'm still, now this is the part that I'm really growing in. Okay. I have been, since I was certified in coaching in 2015. I think that was my first certification. I think it was 2015. It was 2015. I have, since the moment that I really started trying to speak more and telling my story and all the things, I mean, really speaking more, I adopted the one concept. So if there is one person in this world who needs to hear what I have, right? The value that I have. If there's one person who is affected in a positive way, I've done my job. Mm-hmm. Now, that is a beautiful thing to adopt. So here's the part where I'm growing. Now I have to expand to the point of wanting more than one. Right? So I have that down. Like, I'm like, you know what? If one person, and I get
Yeah.
those often, I get people constantly like, oh my gosh, you said this. Oh, that helped me. This helped. Great. Thank you. Now I have to get to the point of wanting abundance, the abundance mindset, the
Mm,
abundance mindset
yes.
without being led by
Led
the
by
ways
it.
of the
Yes.
world.
Yeah.
I cannot find value just
And
because
what
I have
other
more
people
numbers.
find. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm no less valuable today
Well,
than I will be when I have 1 million followers.
yes.
I'm no more valuable today or then. I am still the same person. I have the same
Yes.
value. And it's interesting to me because I have, Docu Rock, I hope you're still here. I have had that thought like, seeing people steal stuff from me, content, I see it often. And I don't say
Mm.
anything. But seeing people steal certain things and then twist it up and make it different, and they have a bigger platform. I mean, I've seen it, and it's sad to the point that I've prayed for these people, like, God help them, because they don't even see what they're doing. They don't
Now
see.
that hasn't happened to me yet.
Yeah, that has happened to me. I'm gonna let it go. But the point, that's not even my point. My point is the mere fact that getting the abundance mindset, I have thought, because I know it's coming. I have a vision I told you about
Mhm.
from when I got in my 20s. God gave me this vision of me, and I'm not going to share it again, but I know that is coming. I know it is in the horizon, on the horizon. And I have been intentionally purposeful about not giving people the middle finger when I get there. You know, some of these people I reached out to collaborate with, and they're like, yeah, such and such, such. Don't be reaching out to me when I get to where
So,
you did.
first of all, I have thought about some of these things too.
I'm like,
Thought about some of these things. Like, I
Lord.
sat there and thought about this last week. Like, I can, and I randomly, like, I can see people starting to reach out. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just like, God, when I'm where you want me to be, when I'm where I may want myself to be, and these people start reaching out, should I now work with these people? Or I should be like, no, I'm busy. Or guess what? Or even better, not even respond.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because some of them haven't even responded.
And so I didn't know this. I'm going to say this comment because now I'm ready to go look at my Facebook
Wait,
stuff.
hold on. She said something. Yep,
That's what I'm saying. Wait a minute. That's why. Wait, I gotta get to that. Wait, give me a second. I'll let you read that one, but let me say this. You have to be intentional about it. So I know this is my growth period.
Yes.
Where God is allowing me to grow so that when that moment comes, that I don't flub the moment. I don't come out in my ego and give the two fingers up to people, because people are where they are. And that's life, right? No matter what they do, they are where they are, and that's life.
Yes.
I have to be intentional. If I'm saying I'm showing up as a believer, a Christian, whatever I'm proclaiming and claiming to be, I have to operate in that. So God's like, okay, right. You say you want to be there. It's going to take time for you to grow up to get there, because right now I'm not quite 100% there, where I wouldn't say when they come to me after that, like, oh, I want to work with you. Now, remember, I asked you 2 years ago and you didn't know me.
But then also,
today I might say that, but that's still me being, I know this is an area that I have to grow in. So I'm doing the work to grow there. I'm doing the work. I'm tuning a blind eye to certain things. I'm forgiving. I'm praying for people when they spitefully misuse me. I'm doing the things to flex my spiritual muscles so that I can be better. And so, can you read Docu Rock's comment?
Oh, she put, yep, Mind Your Mental is a trademark brand. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Folks have taken it and run with it.
And so she said that, and I know this wasn't towards us, but you keep talking, please. I'm just gonna
so now hold on. Mind Your Mental, is that something that Docu Rock had going on that somebody else took?
I think she's saying Mind Your Mental is her trademarked brand.
Oh,
that's what she's saying.
But how do people steal stuff that's trademarked?
I'm saying,
is it get sued?
What'd you say? Is
That's
it what?
is it giving get sued?
Is it
Because
giving? What are you saying?
is it giving get sued?
Oh, get sued. Girl, I thought you said get to.
Because no, because you're not supposed to use anything that is trademark. So how are people doing such things?
So I'm researching and I will find it. DocuRock, I'm gonna tag you when I find it.
Probably should have named this mental health and authenticity.
Yeah, because we didn't know where we were going. We were also talking about the Diddy thing, and
we had a did we? Oh yeah, earlier.
But let's go back because I want to touch this. I want to touch this for DocuRock because ours is called "Minding Our Mental Health Despite Societal Pressures," and I know she's not talking about us, but minding. I have this poem. It used to be a song. Got my mind on my money, and my money on my mind. You remember that? I wrote a poem about. I have my thoughts on my mind and my mind on my mental. I have a whole poem with that. So that's where the inspiration for minding our mental health and societal pressures came in at. But yeah, people do that. They do it all the time. Oh, wait. Oh, she said no. No, it's a podcaster
that has it and has several thousand. Oh.
So it's not yours. Okay. Yeah. I've never even heard of that one. But
me either.
People do it all the time. Like I didn't trade. Well, I'm not even going to say it. I just leave it alone because that's again.
Well, I'm thinking about trademarking my name now. Because
which name? Your actual name? Got it. You probably should. And I don't know, I think it was DocuRock that has done it. I actually was thinking about trademarking the name that you put on the flyer for our Tuesday event, and DocuRock, she named me that at her event. And I was like, wait a minute. And somebody else called me that years ago. And I was like, okay, that's too much. That's Whitney Houston. But I think I'm going to, because y'all keep pouring that into me.
I'm saying is hello. Because the people, if you let them, the people will steal your chips, your life, and everything else. That's all I got to say.
I told you about when the person stole my story. I'm like, whoa,
I'm just saying,
wild.
Because
wild.
The amount of attention that these folks need is absolutely
it's
crazy.
sad, but it's also okay. We're laughing and we're playing. And DocuRock, girl, I wish she wasn't on that treadmill so she can come on here.
Me too. But guess what? She's minding her mental health because that
she is on that treadmill. But here's the thing. It shows the state, and that's part of our conversation, right? It is being caught up in the hustle and bustle of trends and trendiness, and you lose your moral fiber, you lose your integrity, you lose your character, chasing dollars, chasing prominence, chasing platforms, chasing positions and titles, and you end up losing parts of you. So
that's true.
Instead of us going on this tangent, Doc said, I'm good. LOL, I've released it. It's partly my fault because I have not dominated the market. Okay, so I think she's saying Mind Your Mental is her trademark. And somebody has a podcast that has several 100,000 followers and took her name.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. I'm gonna say a prayer for DocuRock. Lord, help her, please, because that's a big
avenge her, God. Avenge her.
Yes. Make her enemies her footstool. Right. That is a big pill to swallow. Seriously.
Avenge her.
She said, it's mine, but the podcaster has run with it. Girl.
God, we're gonna say avenge her, and we're gonna also say restore her belief in what you can do by avenging her, God.
And also in the name of Jesus, and also that where she goes, that person with 100,000 followers is going to look like 2 followers to her.
Right.
By the time she's grown to her fullness, her fullest capacity, Lord, that will look like pennies. That will look like nothing to her. Yeah, it's she said she can come on for a second.
Okay, come on, girl.
Wait, I need to see how to invite her.
Did we speak to the phone?
No. I'm just gonna send it through. So DocuRock, I'm about to send it through Facebook. This is gonna be good. Yeah. DocuRock in real time.
In real time, y'all.
need her today because, girl, I am.
We hold on. We got this. This is the amount of energy that we. This is the amount of energy we want to have with this. But it's okay.
But girl, it's not even energy. It's that Cassie video.
Oh,
just
it really
deflated
did
me. It's
out of me. I'm
It
sorry. I
took the
should have been in
wind.
the spirit.
It's not your fault. And that's one of the things. No. That's one of the things, though, everyone, that often we don't even know what's going to be a trigger
No, we
as it
don't.
relates to child sexual abuse and all that stuff. We don't know. Or Doc, I just sent you the link in Instagram. Hopefully you got it. Please let us know.
This is my question. So when we talk about minding our mental health despite societal pressure, is family included in that societal pressure?
Family's part of society.
Okay.
When I say societal pressures, when we say societal pressures, that's anyone in society. You're in society. I'm in society. That's your family. That's your spouse. That's your children.
That's everybody.
That's everybody. So, okay, let's keep going while she comes on.
The reason why I was saying that because I wanted to be more specific because people will be like, oh, well, they just talking about social media. No, we're talking about everybody that is within the society that can influence you, right? To be something other than who you are. Or can influence your mental health.
And that does influence your mental health to be something you're not. Imagine living a life that's a lie. Imagine you having a father who, you've got to be a doctor, but you want to be an artist.
That's right.
Paints, or a sculptor, and you're living this life as this doctor because you don't want to disappoint your family, and that's pressure. That's from society. That's familial pressure. That's all the things.
Yes. But then also, let's also be real. A lot of the times we adopt all of this thinking that's not us because there are seeds of limiting beliefs as well, right? Like even with, say for instance, you are like, man, I want to make this amount of money, I blah blah so and so. But if you, and then you see all of these people right on the internet, oh, they making this amount of money, oh, they trading, oh, they doing this, oh, they so and so. And you keep going from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. And it's nothing wrong with trying things out. But the truth of the matter is, do you believe that you can make the money the way that you were created to make that money, right? Or are you just, go ahead.
No, are you just what? Finish your
Or are you just thinking that because society will have you on this hamster wheel, thinking that you're not doing enough, right? When in all actuality, there is a flow to life, right? And the more that you doing like this, you're not gonna get that flow. It's just not gonna happen where you're able to make whatever money or have whatever abundance with ease. And can we just go ahead and capitalize and say that if it's like this, it ain't God. But if it's
when you're swimming against the current,
it's
not making any progress. When you're swimming against the current, and part of it, we don't, as you talked about limiting beliefs, we're not saying, just go out there and be happy with one. No, that's why I said I'm still growing and evolving to embrace abundance. What we are saying is embrace the abundance in the area that is authentic to you. So with that, Ashley, our next question, can we really be authentic and successful? And if so, how? How are we really?
Hold on, but also you would have to define what success looks like.
And that's why I asked the question the way I did.
Because success may not look like, for one person, it may look different. For another person, for you, right? Success might be Chicago. For another person, it may be the Midwest. For another person, it may be the West Coast. For another person, it may be just the East Coast. For another person, it may be the UK. Nobody may not know them in the 50 states. Right. But the UK, everybody knows.
And so that's why I formed the question the way that I did. Can you be successful and be authentic?
I
And if
think
so,
you
how?
can.
So here's the thing: defining what is success for you first.
Yes,
That's the only way you have to answer the question first. You have to define, what does success look like
that's
for
for
me?
you.
For me, speaking across the world on various stages, using my voice in all aspects of my voice, which is part of
Yes,
why the voice comes, right? It's the poetry, it's the voiceover, it's speaking, it's coaching, it's all things podcasting, it's all things voice, right? Voice related. It's pouring into people because I know the power of my voice.
yes,
I know, and I'm not just talking about my voice. Everyone has power in their voice. You can speak life over your dead spaces. You can speak life when you feel like death. I'm a living
mm,
witness. So, first, examining what is success for you. Is success having 3 children and a husband and a house on a hill, white picket
right.
fence? That
But
might
and
be
so
success.
yeah, and it's okay. So for me, success is being able to work from home, right?
Mhm,
And being able to be entrenched in the my creativity, right?
mhm,
And also be a mom
mhm,
and be a wife.
mhm,
But have multiple streams of income, right?
mhm,
But
mhm,
also take my teaching ability and take
mhm,
my creative ability for acting and merge them into a healing process, right? That's a
mhm.
part of what I see, right, as a success. And let's also capitalize on this. Over time, it changes.
Mhm,
You have to be okay, right? You may not have wanted 5,000 followers before.
mhm,
You may, as Auntie said, you may have wanted one,
mhm,
right? But
mhm.
now you understand, right? In order to get your message out there, right? You
Yep,
may
yep.
need or want 5,000. It is okay for it to change, right? Yearly or monthly or
If
by,
you
all of
if
those
you
things.
are doing the work, you will
Yes.
evolve. If you are
And,
working on you, you will
and
evolve.
I know the way I just spoke about that was kind of a headache. But being a multi hyphenate, it's
Mhm,
my everything looks very different for me.
mhm,
And I'm okay with that.
mhm.
Like I'm
And
just yeah.
so and this is the point though, because there was a time where, the experts were telling you, you need to niche it down, niche, however you
That's a
pronounce it.
lie.
You need to niche it down. I used to say, I dealt with scatterbrainitis, and my daughter is the same. We have various talents, not just one thing. And I used to always look at people like, well, you're a great singer. I wish I had that one thing that I know that's what I'm supposed to do. But
Yes.
several things that I'm great at. And it's like, and that sounded really vain, but no, I have several things that I'm great at. It doesn't sound vain. It sounds like me being thankful to God for giving me various gifts. Okay, that's what that is. But you had experts saying niche it down. So then everybody was trying to niche it down, and then they're chasing their tail because, well, I still want to do this though. Well, how about now, there's nothing wrong with having systems in place. There's nothing wrong with having strategy. We serve a strategic God. And if God has told you, if you feel in your gut, in your shundai, in your heart of hearts, man, I want to teach and I want to act and I want to
And I
speak
wanna
and I
and I wanna do drama therapy.
and I want to do drama therapy. Who told you couldn't do all of those things? The experts that told you to niche you down, and now
But
you walking
also
around.
some of those things are very much interconnected, right?
They
You also
absolutely
have to sit there and study how those things are
how
interconnected,
they're
right? I'm
connected.
not doing anything that is out of the norm. I have a master's in teaching, have a bachelor's in acting. All of the things that I just said are interconnected.
But that is something you learn from you. That's my point.
Exactly.
Listening to everybody, and everybody's an expert. Everybody knows everything. And yet these same
Weird.
no, I'm not going to do that. The
What a
bottom
weird
line
world.
is
What a
learning your
weird
own
world.
learn it is learning your own internal voice, investing time with you. And if
That's
you
right.
have a creator, if you believe in a creator, investing that time in your creator also, so that you will have good mental health. Because when
That's
we
true.
spin our wheels, we get frustrated, anxiety can build, resentments can build. We start to have that negative narrative, that negative self-talk, that degrading talk. I'm this, I'm stupid. Why did I do that? That was dumb. This was
That's
dumb.
right.
All that stuff that goes on in here, it comes because of, often, not always, not the only way. I'm not saying this is the only way, but often if we are spinning our wheels eventually and we never take time to center and listen,
Yes.
if we don't, we
That
can end up
centering
very
is so
frustrated.
important. It is. That
Mhm.
centering is so important.
And
So
checking in
important
with yourself. What do
with
I need?
yourself.
So
And everybody, and you have to figure out in what way do you center as well. But go
what
ahead.
works for you? Yes, what works for you? Which is why I love with us, we have a lot of similarities and a lot of differences. There's
Yes.
some things that work for me don't necessarily work for
No.
you, and some things that work for you. It's like that is the beauty of
Yes.
being you. That's the
And
beauty
if
of being
right,
me.
if I'm gonna center, it's gonna include my diet.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to include my spiritual habits. So most
Mm-hmm.
likely I'm going to probably juice. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to eat fruits and vegetables. And I know some people are like, girl, you just doing too much. But for some odd reason, let me tell y'all something. The closer that I eat to and I don't know how to explain it, to the way that I was created to eat. This is just meat, which is less meat. That is for some odd reason, that is the more that I feel connected to God. So when I go into my space of I need to center myself, that's where I go.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. Now, Auntie Michelle not gonna do that. She's
Well,
not gonna do that.
part. What I am gonna do. Here's some things I'm gonna do. So some of the ways, and some of the things that work for me. And this is TMI, but I like going TMI because I like people's eyebrows to raise. But I had a hemorrhoidectomy in 2021, January of 2021.
Okay.
I lived in torture with hemorrhoids from the moment I had my daughter in 1993. From 1993 to 2021, I dealt with hemorrhoids. I dealt with bleeding. I would be depleted. I was highly anemic because I was losing so much blood through them. And I'm not going to go too deep, but I ended up finally wanting the surgery. Okay, let's have this surgery.
Okay.
From 1993 to 2021, I had my daughter, and Lord, my stomach was just like gone. I dealt with constipation a lot. So when I need to center, I know often I need to clean my system.
Yes, I'm the same way.
I have to clean my system. I need a fresh start. It's a recharge for me. It's like getting all the gunk and the crap out and all the things, right? So that my mind can think clearer. Because we assessed and figured out last week, even though we know this, that your diet matters. Your food affects your mood, affects your mental health. So I start there. I make sure I'm drinking enough water. I want to walk. I want to meditate and pray. There she is. I want to pray.
In here?
Is in here? She ready?
Get her in here.
Hey,
look at it. She like, oh Lord.
She made it, y'all. And we are an hour in. I don't care. We are making space for DocuRock. We love her. We love her so much. And we are so grateful for her. Seriously. Yeah. Like I said it earlier. I think you were here. I'm not sure, DocuRock. It's rare in this world to meet real people. Like real, transparent, vulnerable, good hearts, right? People who want to give and want to really make a difference in their lives and in other people's lives and their community without wanting you, gimme, without being manipulative. Oh, I see you as an opportunity, because I've met so many of those people recently. You know, you're a resource. No, I'm a whole person. It is rare to meet people like you. So when I meet people like you, I hold on to them. So if I'm holding too tightly, be like, girl, I need some air. Leave me alone.
So silly.
Hey, y'all, this is Dr. Yolinda Renee. We love her. She is
Yes.
so valuable, so
Yes.
amazing, so incredible, and so gifted and talented. And she knows so much. Her wealth of knowledge is so vast, and we love her and appreciate her. So, hey, welcome.
Yes, and I love that
Hey.
t-shirt. That t-shirt. That's nice.
What does that say? The
It say-
t-shirt. That is
Yes, I love it.
that is cute. Hey, girl.
Y'all
Hey,
are
so
funny.
what's going on?
So I want to clear up the whole thing with the trademark. Because y'all was going in on my sis with the podcast. Y'all went in.
We're ready to fight for you. Okay.
I
Right.
love it. So here's the thing with the trademark. You trademark in different categories, right? And so for Mind Your Mental, I'm trademarked in, I believe, 3 categories. None of them are podcasting. So she's actually within her rights,
Oh,
right?
wow.
So
But it's still
I could
funny.
potentially. It is. So now when we were both doing it around the same time, she has since blown up. And she has not blown up under the name Mind Your Mental, but she's associated with it. So she's now on Instagram. She's also a doctor of psychology and she's
Mm.
doing her thing. And and I see when y'all was talking about looking at people's numbers, I'm like, she got about 600,000. When we both started out, we was around the same. She's blown up. I'm trying
Yeah.
not to be salty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she dominated the market and I didn't,
Yeah. Yeah.
I took some detours, had to figure out what I'm here to do and what that's supposed to look like. And, you just have to charge it to the game sometimes. And that's what I ended up doing. Yep, I had to charge it to the game. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a hard, heavy, big
That is
deal.
It is.
Ugh.
It is. We was going in for you though.
No, they rebuked her and everything else. We're like, Jesus, name.
And we like, now look, don't play with our girl like that.
Make her enemies her footstool.
Like, y'all pulled up. I'm like, okay.
We got you standing on the woman's neck.
Sister even did that wrong. We sorry, sis. You good, okay?
We sorry, girl. We sorry.
Okay,
That's hilarious.
I
love
guess
it.
we can give us some grace. I guess. I still don't feel too
Oh,
good
my
about that, but okay.
I was super salty, but I've
Yeah.
let it go. I've let it go. Yeah.
Okay. So Ash, we have to let it go too then.
We do too.
Let it go, y'all. It's all good.
Since we have you here, Doc, I mean, come on. First of all, the series that you released yesterday, I didn't see them until today. That's just because of how I work with social media. But I love your transparency. I love it so much because, especially as, a PhD, a doctor, you've seen everything, you've done everything, or will do everything. And some people have expectations that by the time you got there, why you still have issues. Can you talk about that, please?
I mean, so I know we say it and stuff, but I cuss, so God forgive me. That's bullshit, right? Like there's no, you know what I mean? And that's part of the problem, that part of the culture, especially in like the coaching spaces and all this other stuff that a lot of us have been groomed under, is that you don't have any, you don't show people, you don't let them see you sweat, right? You don't let them see that you're a whole human being, and I have made decisions out of desperation, trying to be chosen, trying to fit into these spaces, only to get behind the curtain and be like, oh, this what it is? Oh, this what it is for real?
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm about to solo you out. I don't want it to freak you out, so I'm letting you know now.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus, Lord.
I told you.
Was not ready. Got me in my workout clothes, but I did not want to be someone who was going to perpetuate this idea that was not based in reality, that wasn't based in truth. And so when it comes to this whole healing process, this stuff isn't linear. You know what I mean? There isn't really any ending point. There's always levels. There's always, this matriculation upward. And sometimes you might have a setback. Sometimes things you thought you've healed or you've gotten over or whatever might pop back up. But if we had this mindset of there's an ending or we've healed that and it is complete, then when it pops up, then we're responding like, oh, is something wrong with me? Did I do something wrong? Did I F up? Did I backslide? Like, what's the problem? No, that's just the process. You know, it's just a process. And as you do it more, you are able to recognize it quicker. And those gaps between you having these slip ups, per se, become further and further between, right? And so when I realized what was happening, it took me 2 days to be like, ooh, Yolanda, we don't like where this is going. Let's pause, let's reassess, and let's realign because this isn't what we want to do. And so I was able to pivot because I have been doing the work and I'm able to be conscious enough to see when I'm not in alignment anymore. And so I wanted to let people know, y'all not by yourself. As I speak to you, I speak to myself. We're in this together. Period.
I love it.
I love that. Ash, do you want to ask Docu Rock something? I just love her transparency and her vulnerability.
So I was going to ask you, like, based upon the things that we are talking about, how much do you believe that societal pressure influences, right, the way that people think now?
Oh, the way they think. You know what? It does still have a really big impact. And also, I'm beginning to feel like there's been a little bit of a crack in the facade. I feel like more people are beginning to see behind the curtain. It's still not a lot. You know, people are beginning to ask questions. People aren't as quick to just take things, you know, for face value, which I think is good, but it is still very much having an effect on how people think, how they move, what they consider success, right? You always talk about what does success mean. People are still comparing what might be success to them to someone else. And it's like, well, should I not be satisfied with just having a house and 2 kids and, you know, I got a car? Is that not good enough? If that's your definition of success, there is no need for you to then compare it to somebody who feel like $1 million house is success. But a lot of people are influenced by what they see. So yes, it can impact how people even think about what they consider enough for themselves. So unfortunately, it's still a thing.
Okay, what would you say? This just came up when you were talking about that because I used to suffer from comparisonitis, is what I call it. It was in my 20s though, and that was before I started doing my work, right? So my sense of value was little to none, right? It was at a deficit. I didn't value me. I didn't feel confident about who I was and my purpose. What would you say to the person who is thinking like, okay, so I have enough money to invest in this program, but you know that same person, this program that's going to help me to create my nonprofit or my online business or whatever, but you know that person has childhood traumas. They have all these things that they haven't started on. Would you tell them, yeah, that's a good thing, go ahead, and because that's going to make you happy? Or would you tell them, why don't you invest that money in some therapy first?
Oh, it depends. And I say that because a lot of these coaching programs don't know how to help people with that type of background. And what I've noticed in the coaching space is that a lot of the coaching programs expect you to like think your way to success. You just got to change your mindset. But it's like, if I got 20 years of fucking trauma, how am I going to just change my mindset and be successful? Like, that's not going to work.
Damn.
So a lot of these, a lot of these coaching programs doesn't have that built in, nor do they refer. Like, if you see your client is struggling and they're not garnering success, which is making you look bad, right? Because now you ain't got your numbers, and now you're wanting to shame them into making you look good. So now we got a whole cluster. You know what I mean? And so depending on who that coach is, I would say be mindful, do your due diligence. If this isn't someone who takes mental health seriously and is willing to say to you, hey, you know what? I'm not thinking this is the right fit for you, who is willing to forfeit dollars for the sake of their client, then that's not the person you want to go see. Go to therapy.
Thank you.
Now, that was a lot right there. You said that.
Thank you. Because I see
no, but it's a true thing.
I see it so much. And I see and I've been in coaching programs. I see it and it's like, no, you need therapy. You don't need a coach. You need a licensed therapist. And thank you. Thank you. I had to ask that question. Let's see. Anything you want to share with people? How important, before you do that, how important do you think resilience is when we're talking about mental health? Resilience.
I think that is our mental health, right? Our resiliency is what keep us plugged in, right? Because if we weren't resilient, a lot of us have been through so many things that many of us would have decided to check out, right? And because of our resiliency, now whatever that's built upon, right? Whether or not that's our faith in God, whether or not that's our family members, whatever that resiliency is built upon will probably predicate how far it's going to get you, right? Because if your resiliency is built on I'm doing this for someone else, then that might only get you so far. So, resiliency is extremely important, but also be mindful of what that resiliency is built upon. Because as much as I love my children and they've gotten me so far, I'm now at the point where that's not enough. Now my resiliency needs to be internal in order to keep me moving forward, where years past, my kids were enough. In my healing process, that's what kept me moving. And now I am shifting that resiliency to one that's internal.
I do have one more question.
Thank you. I love that. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, you're good.
We have come to the conclusion that societal pressure, right, is the enemy of authenticity. So do you have any ways, right? If somebody was watching the show, do you have any ways that, I don't want to say are surefire, but any ways that people can find their own authenticity? What are some tools, right, that they can use, right, in order to figure out their own God-given authenticity?
It's simple, but it's not easy. You got to be honest with yourself. A lot of people are operating from a place of inauthenticity for a lot of reasons. And a lot of it is usually predicated on fear, right? What if I'm not good enough? What if I'm not accepted? What if this? What if that? And so being willing, I always say, own your story, right? So if you own your story, no one can use it against you. But if you are ashamed of any part of your story, then you stepping out in authenticity is going to always feel like a risk, right? Because if you are ashamed of your childhood or your sexual trauma, if you was out here wilding out and you are afraid of showing up as your authentic self because somebody might try and use that against you, then it'll be difficult for you to come fully out of the shadows. So own it, right? And in order to own it, you have to first admit to yourself that, yeah, I used to be wild. I used to be doing this. I used to be doing that, but if you own it, then you get to tell it in your voice. But if you're afraid, then you might find that somebody will take your story and they will manipulate it in a way to control you. Don't let them.
Oh, I love that. So in a word, it requires authenticity. Authenticity. I cannot say the word. Authenticity
requires honesty.
Authenticity requires not just honesty. That's great. I believe in that. I talk about the truth and all that, but it requires courage.
Yes.
Courage is a requirement for authenticity. It is an absolute. You cannot be your authentic self if you don't walk in courage, because sometimes you have to have the unpopular voice.
That's right.
Sometimes you might get the tomatoes thrown at you.
Ooh, or sometimes the Sandman might come out.
The Sandman.
Like on the power.
With the hook. Yes. And that is one of the things that, like, I'm too old to be faking and shaking, and I'm too old to have relationships that are fake. I'm too old for it. I don't have any tolerance. As we get older, it's like what comes up comes out of our mouths. Like, you have no time left. So yeah, we encourage you all to be authentic, to walk in your courage, in your God-given voice. Find your voice. That's going to require you taking time with yourself.
Yes.
Sitting still. So, DocuRock, we are happy you jumped in. I told earlier I was going to ask you to come on, and I was like, this girl's got too much. I don't want her, because if I ask her, she might say yes, but she really don't have the bandwidth, and then I'm going to feel bad because she's working on some other things, and here I go with another ask. Oh my God! But look at God.
Yes.
It worked out. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I had to do the religious look at God.
Look at God. Okay.
I just had to do it. I don't even talk like that.
I love it.
No, but DocuRock, did you want to share anything else? We love you. We are happy to make space for us and the audience. Anything else you want to share?
Yes. So I'll leave you all with this because you all were talking about just being attached, right? And I'll share this with you all because I learned that I had got a whole bunch of different opportunities just kind of thrown in my lap, wasn't looking for it, 6 different opportunities, big names, a million followers, whatever, to collaborate. And one by one, they all fell through. Every single one of them, they all reneged or they ghosted me. And I was so pissed. And then it was the last one. It was the night before. I was so excited. Then they emailed me and said, basically, we can't platform you because I'm doing my own thing and I'm running it and you will distract from my own stuff. And I was like, oh, but this was a lesson. I was super salty. My little girl was hurt. I felt abandoned, all of the things. But however you want to say it, God, universe, source taught me was that you are too attached to those outcomes. And if you would have got put on, you would have got lost in the sauce. You weren't ready. And that was a hard lesson for me to learn because I wasn't ready. I'm a little bit more ready now, still not quite there, but I wasn't ready. I would have got lost in the sauce.
Do you see? Hold on. Do you see how the heathens be having the sauce too? That's all I got to say. Love me a good heathen. That's what I'm talking about.
Cut it out. You are
trash. On my chest, heathen. Okay.
You are straight trash for saying that.
I love it.
Trashy Ash.
Y'all, I'm telling you, in real life,
but I'm the heathen.
But in real life, I have a special place in my heart for those who call themselves heathens. They belong with me. I love y'all.
That was okay. So let's get back to the lesson that DocuRock just dropped on us. Thanks, Ash. The lesson was not being attached to the outcomes. And y'all need to follow her. I don't care when you watch this.
Right.
Because the authenticity, the vulnerability, the transparency, her saying, because how many people say they weren't ready?
Exactly.
It's somebody else's fault. It's this, is that. They don't sit. I'm sure I would go out on a limb and say DocuRock had to sit still to hear that, to receive that message, to receive the lesson so that she could do the work and put in more work. She probably thought she was ready at the time, right? Like, oh, I got these opportunities. I must be ready. Because often people think when the doors open, that must mean I'm ready to walk in. That's not what that means. Sometimes the open door is a trap. Sometimes the open door is going to get you up in there and have you with Diddy. So,
Diddy-o.
All open doors do not lead to safe rooms.
They do not.
I want y'all to know.
And
you don't know which rooms are safe if you don't sit for a moment. Sit in it. Don't
also, maybe she would have sacrificed some of her authenticity.
But that's what she said.
And her message. And her voice. Yeah.
She said that. She would have got mixed up and lost in it. That's why I brought up the Diddy thing, those other worlds. Yeah. She would have got in there and lost her voice and lost herself. And so just because the door is open, but sometimes we say God over here, you know how we are. We love you. But sometimes God has to protect us when we don't have the sense we were born with, as the girl say, right? We think, oh, the door open, I gotta run in it. We've all been guilty of that. And then got burned up because we ran in a room we had no business in. So God had to protect you. And it still stung, I'm sure, even as you share that story.
I was hot as fish grease for about a good week and a half. I was pissed off. Like, come on, Jesus, what is this?
I get it.
I love that. I thank you for that lesson, seriously, because sometimes the things we pray for, we're not even ready. We're not ready. We don't have the capacity to carry it to fruition. We don't have the capacity to see it through and maintain our integrity, our core values, and our character. Sometimes we think we do, but sometimes we don't. I've had that conversation with my best friend who is like a sister. She's a performer. She sings. And we've had this conversation, because we have the real conversations and talking about other people getting ahead first. And I'm like, Sherry, listen, when you're ready, When God says you're ready, the doors will open because she does her work.
Exactly.
She's professional. She's got all the things, all the systems in place. Her character is phenomenal, all these things. But apparently there is something in you that is not ready yet.
Right.
She loves Whitney Houston. So I use Whitney Houston as an example. Whitney
Oh,
Houston,
baby.
amazing voice, amazing
But
spirit.
was not ready character-wise.
Wasn't ready. Wasn't. It couldn't sustain her.
No.
So look at what happened. We don't want those things happening. So thank God for God. That's
That part.
for real, that he can see us and what we need. And we're kicking against doors like, when is it my turn? And he's like, you don't know what's behind it.
Exactly.
I'm protecting you. So
That's right.
That part.
didn't know we were going there, but thank you, Docu Rock, for pushing us there. We appreciate
Go ahead
it.
and give us your socials and some things you have coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got some stuff up my sleeve. I'm gonna have to tell y'all about that later once it comes to fruition.
Okay.
Got a couple things up my sleeve. But y'all can find me at YolindaRenee.phd. I'm typically over on Instagram. You can find me with Kill on Purpose with Yolinda Renee on Facebook. YolindaRenee.com is my website. Kill on Purpose is the name of my nonprofit, which Auntie and Ash have both been, a part of as far as our panel conversation. Yes. So we're going to be doing something for that. We actually have a conversation coming up this Sunday called My Mother's Daughter, where we are going to have the conversation of how our mother has been a part of our healing and or a part of our wounding, and how has that impacted our right now reality. So that conversation is happening on Sunday. But that's what I got going on. Stay tuned.
Well, thank you for hopping on in here, dropping by. This was beautiful and amazing. We love you. We'll see you soon. I'll see you on Sunday, of course, but we'll see you soon.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right.
That was an amazing surprise.
It was.
That was wonderful and worth the 24 extra minutes. That was amazing.
It was. We can place this clip where it needs to go.
Yes, we can. I'm glad I singled her out and she let me do it. So there'll be clips of her on social Sunday.
Yes.
So Ash, this was another great conversation, minding our mental health and this societal pressure. We have a lot of lessons. I should have been typing them in the comments, but basically you got to have courage to show up as your authentic self so that you keep your voice. So
and you have to be honest along with that courage.
And finding that honest part. So finding your truth, you got to sit down. I think if we if we had to sum this whole episode up, I would sum it up with sit down, be still, get quiet, center yourself.
Yes.
Because everything else, once you do that, it's going to come
to you. It's okay to delete that social media app on your phone.
It's okay to delete that social media app. It's okay to block people. It's okay to unfollow. It is okay. And something else that we didn't talk about.
What?
When you see something you don't like on social media, it's okay to be quiet and say nothing.
Yeah.
You don't have to be nasty to people.
No, it's okay to mute it too. Sometimes you gotta mute people, and sometimes you gotta mute yourself.
Listen.
Okay.
You need a break. That's part of the sitting quietly, sitting still.
And reflecting.
Yes. Center yourself. It's hard to center yourself in the midst of a tornado.
It is.
And that's what social media can look like, a tornado. Taking things up, just causing havoc, noise, loud, all the things around you.
Yes.
Sail down sometimes.
Yes.
Just be quiet.
Yes.
Anyway, thanks, Ash. So,
thank you. All right, let's go through these things that we usually go through. So you can now follow us on Instagram at Hey Aunty and Ash. Okay. You can also follow us. You can subscribe to our YouTube and see our podcast live, the whole entire video, and Hey Aunty and Ash on YouTube. You can follow me at I Am Ash Chanel. Don't forget, you can also join the Surgery Book Club by next Tuesday.
When does it start?
We start Thursday, May 23rd. Y'all, when I tell you the deal that you're getting, because my real book is $20. The deal that you're going to get for the book club, top of the notch. It ain't, guess what? It's lower than half of $20. So you might as well, yes. So just go ahead and get up in there, okay? You can follow me at I am Ash Janelle on Instagram, Notes with Ash on YouTube. Follow Auntie at Out of My Shell, The Voice on YouTube and Instagram. Also, Coach Michelle Jackson on Facebook. And she got Out of My Shell page on Facebook too. Are you using that one?
I do. I don't know what I'm using. Y'all can follow me everywhere you see me.
Everywhere you see her.
And guess what?
Don't forget to pick up when she flips. Okay.
LPT.
That's right. Don't forget to pick up the surgery. And guess what? When y'all read these books, go ahead and run up those reviews on Amazon.
Yes.
Do that. Okay.
And after you read the book, reach out to us on social media
to let us
know. And let us know if you have any questions or if you've experienced similar circumstances and things. Even if it's questions like, well, how did you deal with this? We will answer. We will respond.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. And don't forget about mindful moments next Tuesday, May 21st. And we thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank y'all.
We will see you next week.
Have a great weekend. Bye, y'all. Bye. Let me end the stream.